We live in a world where appearance and reality blend every single day. What you see, hear, and believe is not always what truly exists. That is what we will explore in this video. The Age of Illusions. Inspired by Immanuel Kant, we will understand why our mind never sees reality as it really is. We will discuss how society fabricates images, symbols, and superficial truths. And most importantly, we will reflect on how all of this affects your life. The goal is not only to philosophize, but to bring practical clarity, so that by the end of this video you can see the world with more awareness and recognize how to escape the traps that surround us. Because illusion is not only out there, it also lives within us. Kant said, "We never have access to the thing in itself. We only know the phenomenon, what appears to us through the senses." This means that every perception is filtered. We do not see the world as it is, but as we are able to process it. This limitation opens the door to illusions. Think about how we interpret time. A day can feel endless when we are bored, or it can fly by when we are happy. Time itself is the same, but our experience of it is shaped by perception. Think also about personal relationships. How many times have you believed someone was a certain way, only by appearances, and later discovered there was much more beneath the surface? The first impression rarely reveals the essence, yet we often take it as the truth. On social media, this illusion is amplified. Images and filters create edited versions of life. A smile may hide deep sadness. A trip may conceal debt or loneliness. And still, we take the phenomenon as reality. Modern society perfected the art of creating illusions. Baudrillard, the French philosopher, called this hyperreality, a world where symbols replace the real, and we live more through representations than through direct experience. Think about the idea of success. In the past, it might have meant a peaceful life or a dignified profession. Today, it often comes down to numbers, followers, likes, income. Success became statistics, not necessarily personal fulfillment. Think about the idea of beauty. Every decade, a new standard is manufactured. Bodies, faces, styles, regulated by trends. And when we don't fit in, we feel we are not enough. But the standard was never real. It was always constructed. Even happiness has become a commodity. It is sold as products, experiences, and status. But consumption never fully satisfies. It's like drinking salt water. The more we drink, the thirstier we feel. Society fabricates symbols and repeats them until they appear natural. So we confuse what is cultural with what is essential, and end up believing in truths that never existed. When we confuse being with appearing, we begin to live behind masks. Jung called these masks the persona. They are necessary for social life, but they become a problem when we believe we are only the mask. At work, how often have you acted only to maintain an image? How often have you silenced your opinion to fit in? How often have you forced yourself to appear motivated when you were exhausted? The mask may bring acceptance, but it costs authenticity. In relationships, we also wear masks. Many people show only the version they believe will be attractive, and hide their vulnerabilities out of fear of rejection. But without vulnerability, there is no real intimacy. The relationship becomes a staged performance for two. Life becomes a stage, each person playing a social role. The perfect parent, the successful professional, the always happy friend. But behind the curtain, many feel empty and drained. The audience applauds, but the actor cries in silence. If everything can be appearance, what is still truth? Kant said we cannot know the ultimate essence, but we can approach it through critical reason, and that means not accepting what is shown at first glance, but questioning, refining, seeking coherence. Frankl reminded us that life only finds meaning when connected to a purpose. This purpose is not given by society. It is born within, through the unique experience of each person. What is true for you may not be true for others. And it is at this point that authenticity emerges. Truth cannot be measured by numbers or applause. It does not need a stage. It is what remains when everything external falls apart. It is the value that endures even when no one is watching. It is the inner voice that resists the noise of appearances. To see through the illusion and recognize that we live surrounded by appearances, shaped by them, is liberating, because it reveals that nothing that binds us is absolute. To observe society from a distance, to realize that values, standards, and images are cultural constructions. Had you been born in another time, you would believe in different truths. Much of what we call natural is only convention, and it does not need to define us forever. To cultivate inner life opens the space for the essence to flourish, to set aside time for silence, to quiet the noise of the screens, to allow consciousness to breathe without distractions, to seek the truth within oneself, to ask, what truly matters? What gives meaning? What remains when everything else falls apart? The answers may take time, but the search itself already brings awareness. If everything we see is appearance, where is the real? Maybe it is beyond our perception, or maybe it is within us, in the silent point where no image can deceive. True freedom begins when we stop confusing mask with identity, when we realize we are more than persona, more than social roles, more than symbols manufactured by society. We are consciousness seeking meaning. This consciousness is indestructible. No illusion can erase it. It may be muffled, forgotten, or asleep, but never destroyed. Because the real always escapes the control of appearance. The greatest illusion is to believe we are powerless before society. But the truth is, we can resist. The first step is to awaken. The second is to live authentically. It is not about abandoning the world. It is about walking through it without losing yourself. Wearing masks when necessary, but never mistaking them for your identity. Finding purpose in the midst of noise. Discovering truth in silence. Living not by what appears, but by what is. Remember, your life is not a spectacle. Your life is experience, interiority, consciousness, and none of this depends on external approval. What is true within you remains, even when no one applauds. And that is what gives existence its meaning. As this video ends, reflect. Where are you still living by illusion? Which masks are you still mistaking for your identity? Which appearances do you still take as reality? And what is the truth within you that needs to emerge? This reflection is the beginning of a more authentic life. A life guided not by what seems to be, but by what truly is. For the age of illusions may deceive many, but you can choose to see beyond the veil. If this message resonated with you, share in the comments how it touched your life. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Because the more people awaken, the less power illusions will have. and the closer we will be to a life grounded in truth.